friends, let's start making this amazing overripe banana balls. Now, I never throw out overripe bananas. So let's make this snack with this overripe banana. So here I have two very overripe bananas and I'm just going to mash them up. They're very easy to mash because they've ripened up really well. Now I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of grated jaggery. We don't need to add a lot because the bananas themselves are nice and sweet. So mix these two really well. You can also use your fingers. Now I'm going to add half a teaspoon of elaichi powder, cardamom powder, 2 teaspoons of some roasted fennel powder. Now fennel is nothing but soft. Just lightly roast it and then grind it in your mixer or your mortar and pestle. Add that. That really enhances the flavor of this dish. 1/4 teaspoon or just a pinch of salt. Mix everything really nicely together. Now this is a real healthy and good evening snack. Now I'm just going to add a 1/4 cup or 1/4 cup of whole wheat flour. Mix everything nicely. Add a little flour at a time. And mix everything nicely and so that everything gets well incorporated. So now our mixture is ready. I'm just going to add a little water, say about 5 tablespoons, so that I get a little bit of a, when you make kanda bhaji or you make any kind of fritters, we want that kind of a consistency. It shouldn't be too runny, it shouldn't be too thick. Now here I have this appe stand or appam stand. I'm just going to put a little bit of clarified butter or ghee in each of them. And I'm going to put this in the mold. Now if you don't have something like this, you can also put this into an idli stand and even steam this. And now we're just going to wait for the edges to get golden brown, and I'm getting beautiful aroma in my kitchen with the fennel seeds and all the elaichi powder. And now just using a spoon, I'm going to just turn them over. You can also shallow fry this like a pancake and just let it get nice and crispy and cooked, and that's it. These delicious, such a quick recipe, and you can even use overripe bananas in this way. So do try out this recipe, guys.
Now friends, we'll take about 2 of the overripe bananas and we are going to mash them up with a fork till they become a nice smooth consistency. It's very easy to mash it up because the bananas are nice and soft. See that there are no lumps left. Now once our bananas have got nicely mashed up, like this, they come to a consistency like this, we are now going to add our other ingredients. First, we're going to add some icing sugar. So I'm adding about 1 tablespoon. If you want, you can add more or you can add less. Now mix this icing sugar well into the banana. Now we are going to use a little bit of vanilla essence, about half a teaspoon. Next, we're going to add a pinch of baking powder. This gives the Filos or the banana fritters a very nice, fluffy, crispy texture, and it rises up a little too. Again, we're going to mix everything well. Now we're going to crack open an egg and add the egg to the mixture. And using a whisk, we are going to whisk it in well. Now you can either use whole wheat flour or you can use all-purpose flour or maida. Here I am using whole wheat flour, about a cup of it. You can even use the all-purpose flour or maida. Again, we're going to mix all of this very nicely. Everything has to get well incorporated. And then the last ingredient we have to add is some milk. The milk helps in giving this a nice smooth consistency, like a pancake batter. Our batter should not be too runny or it should not be too thick. It should be just right, like a normal pancake batter. And once our batter is ready, we're going to rest the batter for about 10 minutes. This is also very important because then everything gets well incorporated together. So we let the batter sit aside for a while. Now after 10 minutes, we will heat a pan on the gas top. I like using a non-stick pan. Now I'm going to just spread a little bit of ghee or clarified butter on my hot pan. You can also use regular butter. And we're going to take a small bit of the batter and just spread it out in the middle with a ladle. Then we're going to let it fry well, and once the borders or the edges of the pancake turn to a nice crispy golden brown, we can just flip the pancake to the other side. So once our pancake edges are golden brown, we are going to just turn it over and then fry the other side till it is nice and crispy and golden brown too. Now these pancakes are a real tasty delight. You can have it for breakfast too or for tea time in the evening. It really is very delicious.
So let's start making this delicious snack. So now here I'm taking half a cup of besan or chickpea flour. To that I'm going to add half a teaspoon of turmeric powder or haldi, half a teaspoon of salt or to taste. Now here I have some oil heating up. I'm going to mix everything really well, and I'm going to add just a little water at a time because we're going to make a very thick batter, like a bhaji batter or something which you would make to make batata vadas. It should not be runny, it should not be extremely thick. Similar to a dosa batter. Use a whisk or a fork and mix everything really nicely. So in total I must have added about 4 to 5 tablespoons of water. Put a little at a time. And now I'm just going to take some hot oil and add it. So this is called mohan. So because you're adding this, the veggies become nice and crispy, and you don't need to add any baking soda. So this also is a very quick snack if you have bananas at home, especially ripe bananas. This is an amazing snack. So now I'm using just one ripe banana just to show you how to make this. And just take off the peel. I generally put the peel into my pots in my garden. Take off the tips. We're going to discard that. And then just cut them into small slices like this. Not too thin, not too thick. Ensure that your oil is nice and hot on a low to medium flame. And then just dip the bananas in this batter and fry them. So the bananas are sweet, the batter is a little savory, so you can imagine the combination. It will be mind-blowing. So try out this recipe and let me know in the comment section how you like it. So friends, let's start making this delicious recipe. Now here I've taken 3 over ripe bananas and half a cup of grated jaggery or jaggery or cool, and using a potato masher or a pav bhaji masher, I've mashed up everything really well. Now I'm going to be adding 1 teaspoon of elaichi powder, 1 egg and 1/4 cup of milk, and we're going to mix all of this really well together. Now ensure that the jaggery or the jaggery is really well incorporated. You shouldn't have any lumps. Now I'm going to add half a teaspoon of baking powder. Again, whisk everything really well. The baking powder will make the pancakes nice and light and they'll fluff up. Now here I've taken 1 cup of oats and I've just ground them to a very fine powder in my mixer. And I'm going to add this to the batter. This is an ideal Sunday morning breakfast. And here I have my heavy iron bottomed girdle or pan. And I'm just going to pour the batter. See that it's nice and heated up. And then I'm just going to drizzle a little bit of clarified butter or ghee. Swirl the pan around so that the ghee goes evenly all over the pancakes. And just let them cook. Let them become golden brown on the edges. And that's when you'll turn them over. This is a great tiffin item to give your family members, your kids, your husband, or take it yourself to work. Because it's got oats, it's got bananas, and clarified butter or ghee. And that's it. Just transfer it onto a serving plate once it's ready. You can drizzle it with some honey. Again, making it even more healthy, or maple syrup, whatever is your choice. Top it with some bananas or some peanut butter, and you have a nice healthy snack. So enjoy this recipe. So friends, for all those lovely cake lovers, here is a lovely whole wheat banana cake recipe. Now here I have 4 bananas. Again, they're nice and ripe. I've just peeled them. Now I'm going to mash them with my potato masher. I'm going to add 1 egg. Mix everything in well. See that your oven is preheated. Now I'm going to add 1/3 cup of milk. Your oven should be preheated to 180 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. Now I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. Again, mix everything well. Now in a separate bowl, I've taken 1 cup of butter, which is at room temperature. I'm going to add 1 cup of brown sugar. Whisk the two together. Now if you want to make this even more healthy, you can use about half a cup of ghee or clarified butter instead of the butter. Now whisk this really well. And you're going to add this to the batter. Mix everything in well, fold it in nicely with the cut and fold method. 1 teaspoon of baking powder and 1 cup of whole wheat flour. Put a little flour at a time and just fold everything well together. Now we're not going to whisk it, because when you whisk anything it becomes very light, and we don't want a very light cake. We want a normal dense cake. So we're just going to fold it in. We don't want to over mix the cake. And I'm just going to pour it into a greased loaf tin. And I'm going to bake it in my preheated oven at 180 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. Let it cool completely before you demold it. And this is a normal loaf tin, a cake loaf tin. See how well it's baked. And then you're just going to cut it up into slices and enjoy it with a hot cup of tea or coffee. Do dust it with some icing sugar because it looks even more presentable and delicious and tempting.
So let's start with today's lovely recipe. Now here I have 2 cups of oats. We're going to grind this in a dry mixer to get a very fine powder of flour like this. So this is our oats flour or oats powder already. Now to this I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of baking powder, half a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of cinnamon powder. Now this is optional, but it really brings out the taste of these muffins. Now mix in all of these dry ingredients really well. Now in another bowl, I'm just going to mash up 2 ripe bananas. Mash the bananas up really nicely. Next I'm going to add in 2 eggs. Mix in the eggs with the bananas well. Next goes in 1 teaspoon of vanilla essence. Whisk that in well too. half a cup of melted butter. Mix that in well. And now I'm going to add half a cup of brown sugar. If you don't have brown sugar at hand, you can use regular powdered sugar. Mix all of this really nicely together. And now is a good time to preheat your oven to 180 degrees Celsius for 10 minutes. Now we're going to add in the oats powder, the oats flour that we just ground. And we're going to fold this really nicely into the wet ingredients. So see that everything is really nicely incorporated. There's no dry part of the oats, but everything is really mixed in nicely. Now I'm going to add 1/4 cup of chopped up walnuts, 1/4 cup each of raisins and dried cranberries, and 1/4 cup of choco chips, which is completely optional. Fold everything in really nicely because you want to get all of these walnuts and raisins in every bite. Now I've lined my cupcake holder with these liners. I've just applied a little dab of butter to the base so that they stick in easily. And now I'm just going to fill about 3/4 of the muffin liner. Don't overfill them. So with this batter, I got exactly 12 muffins. Just dab them down a bit. And now we're going to bake these at 180 degrees Celsius for about 20 minutes or 22 minutes. So don't forget to preheat your oven, and then you're going to bake these. And now they're all out of the oven. Let them come to room temperature before you take them out of the muffin holder. So that's the remaining batter, which I'm going to again add into the new cupcake liners and bake them. And now you can see that I've just taken one of them out, and it's baked so nicely. The color is also very gorgeous. And this is the inside of it. Let me give you a clearer picture. Let me adjust my camera. There it is. So these muffins are really delicious and so healthy also.
today's recipe as well as today's video, and if you would like to see more videos like this, then don't forget to leave this video a big thumbs up. Also, by clicking the thumbs up icon, also don't forget to subscribe to my channel and become a part of Akshata's recipes. Once you have subscribed, there is a small little bell icon that will pop up, so just click on that. That way, whenever I put up a new recipe or a new video, you get a message for the same. So on that note, I'll say bye and I'll catch you in my next video sooner than you think. This is Akshata saying bye, take care, stay healthy, stay fit, be kind and loving to one another. So till we meet again, bye.